Hello there, so here I am on my third visit to India, and I very much want to share with you how things have been. It's day 4 for me here, and things are moving so rapidly that I realised if I didn't start making some films, things would just get lost. So I'll just prepare myself in the way I normally do, which is to grab a towel and put it on my lap, because you never know, it might prove useful. So I guess by now you know that when I come here I stay with Ahmed and Reshma, and Ahmed's been a good friend of mine for a very long time, and Reshma is now a very good friend of mine too. And I love being here. It's extraordinarily transformative for me to be here. And I've already made a film called Know Yourself, and that one came out in rather a strange way, whereby you actually need to lie down and look at it from the side. You'll see what I mean when you have a look at the way it's come out on the screen. So part of me wants to apologise for that, and part of me is actually in a place of it doesn't matter. It doesn't really matter which way the screen is round for that one. It's the information that counts. So that was my first film since I got here this time, which talked about my first day. So what I want to do now is tell you a little bit about my second day, which is there was a meeting I was invited to, and there's a guy who spoke about AI and his capability to use AI to produce films. And this has opened up a whole world to Ahmed, myself, and Ahmed's very good friend Sadek. We were all very moved by his presentation, and we've decided that along with Reshma we're all going to go into his 32-hour training process. So that's very unexpected. I'm going to be trained to learn how to make AI films. And for some of you who may be rather negatively disposed towards AI, I will go into a little bit of detail about why I've chosen to take this rather extraordinary step. So looking forward to sharing that with you. And we had that meeting on the balcony, which actually was the scene. Hello there, Gopal. I predicted an arrival. Well, this is my cue, because last night we had a most extraordinary party. Ahmed and Reshma are just the exemplary party hosts, there's no doubt about it. And what makes it so remarkable for me is they have curated an incredible guest list. And we usually have between about a dozen at the minimum and maybe over 20 people at the party, and they turn up at different times, as you'd expect. Saturday night experience, not every single Saturday night, but it certainly was last night. So the first thing I want to say to you is that we normally have these, in my experience, we normally have these in Reshma's flat, which is on the 5th floor in 501. This one was not, it was in 701. So what happened is, literally just a couple of hours before the party started, Ahmed got his team to completely clear his main balcony, and he'd ordered some AstroTurf, and they laid the AstroTurf down in the balcony. Actually, it's probably not AstroTurf, because that's hard plastic. It's a fake grass, but it's very soft, so it's something a bit different. In England, they actually have this stuff on market stalls when they're selling vegetables. So a vegetable seller on the market stall, he covers his stall with this fake grass stuff and puts his vegetables on top of it. So the floor was laid with that. All the plants and all the seating was arranged in a circle in the usual way, with a lovely little mat in the centre for all our bits and pieces. And we had an utterly extraordinary time, and both Gopal and Kamini plays a significant part in the party. Generally speaking, my experience of cats with large numbers of people is they disappear before anyone arrives. Well, not these guys. These guys are made of sterner stuff. And there were moments where it was particularly challenging for them, and they went through everything that they went through. So I've got great admiration for their courage to be with large numbers of people in situations which, as you know, with parties can get a little bit messy now and again. But I should explain to you a different kind of party. This is a party with no alcohol. When people arrive, they find the bottles of water on the central area, which has got the mat on, together with glasses and ashtrays. And what gradually happens is, throughout the evening, more and more items get added to this central area. Food arrives, gets presented, gets passed around. People order food from Swiggy. I've spoken about this on my previous films. Basically, you touch your phone in a few places, and about 8 to 10 minutes later the doorbell rings and the dude turns up. It's always a dude with whatever you ordered, whatever food it may be. So it was food cooked from restaurants that was arriving yesterday evening. And we start off with conversation and something to drink, and after a while something to smoke starts being prepared by different people, and then the food starts turning up and the conversation flows, and it's a really lovely atmosphere, very playful, very lively. And we've got a real diversity of people, from really obviously introverted people who are really quiet, together with really large, and I mean large in all sense of the word, loud people who are really outspoken and vociferous. And we eventually, actually quite soon, we go into some kind of music. We started with music, recorded music on the giant speaker system, and at a certain point in the party, 1, 2, 3 new people turn up, and 2 of these 3 people are from Holland. They're Dutch, Nederlanders. And after a little while they've been here, then the guy who's brought them, Vic, very patiently instructs us all to go into total silent mode with our eyes closed. There's a lot of resistance to this at first, and people don't take any notice, but Vic is very insistent, and he actually gets us all into this state of total silence, eyes closed. And then what happens is the room erupts into sound. And I should just say, this is all happening on Ahmed's balcony with the fake grass and the seats. So being on the balcony, it means to say you've got glass wall, and above the glass wall you're open to the elements, to the air. It's 19, 20 degrees outside, wonderfully warm evening, and we can see thousands and thousands of cars on the motorway going both directions, the white headlights, the red tail lights, and they're all crawling along at a snail's pace, because in a city of 13 million people, it's a lot of cars. So we're able to have that as our backdrop, the sky, the various lights on the buildings, that kind of thing. So it's very spectacular, the location itself. And the next thing we know, we're all sitting there with minimal lighting, and the balcony erupts into sound. And I recognise immediately a didgeridoo, and I recognise sounds of voice. And there's didgeridoo and voice, and we get taken on this beautiful sound journey, which just seems endless. It's absolutely delightful. So at that point, no one is smoking, no one's eating, we're just totally devoted to that. Really beautiful experience. After that, we go into games mode, and one of the games modes, we go out into the main part of the apartment, and we play what they call football here. The English call this table football. Whatever you call it, it's loud, it's raucous, and it's lively. And when you got people from Bangalore playing the table football, it gets really exciting. They get very emotional, very dramatic. It gets very loud, and there's lots of leaping up and down. It gets terribly exciting. And I should add, apart from me having just turned up a few days ago from England, from Glastonbury, we also have Saeed. Saeed's turned up from Birmingham by plane the same day as I do. He turns up as well. All sorts of people from different places. Real mix. People from Bangalore, people from outside Bangalore. And for those who are interested in such things, when it comes to green medicine, at different times people produce always glass jars, and this is a local variety, this is that. And at one particular point, quite late on in the evening, a guy turns up and he produces a jar, and he tells everyone this is from Mysore. And these green medicines, they've got their own very particular aromas, and I'm not partaking at all. So that's a really interesting experience for me to be in the party not partaking. There's one other person not partaking, and everyone else is partaking very much so. But at one particular point, someone says, "So tell me something about this from Mysore then, this green medicine from Mysore." And someone shouts out, "Well, I'll tell you what, it's from Mysore." So it gives you a sense of some of the kind of sense of humour that is going on at that particular point. So it was a really great time. And much later on, we ended up having quite a debate about what we were going to do. Reshma offers these cards, which are all historical figures from India's history, and I can't remember what mine was, but I know he was a king. He was crowned at age 11, and he took part in various campaigns, and I think he died in his early 20s. So that was just something. It was going to be turned into a game, but the energy of the room didn't go in that direction. The energy of the balcony, I should say. It's just a very open space, perfect for smoking in. Instead, we went for charades, and we went for films, and I'm sure many of you in many cultures know that. So one person, they're given the film title, and they have to put their fingers up how many words in the film. Oh, that means there's 2 words in the film, and they'd have to make a sign to show that the film was in English rather than any other language. Then they would act out the words, first of all the second word, then we'll act out the first word. So all this is absolutely hilarious because of the state of consciousness of all the people in the party, and they milk it for all the laughs they can possibly extract from this experience. It's really good fun. And when finally one person guesses the title, they are then up, and they stand up, and it's their turn to be given the film by Vic. So when it comes to the games in the circle games, it really is Vic who becomes the MC at this particular point. And this guy, he's the embodiment of the card the Magus. It's very, very entertaining being with him. But that's my cue, because I did want to share with you, because actually we are going through a very significant time at this part of my experience in India. I wanted to show you the tarot card it relates to. So while all this is going on, the tarot card which is giving the operating energy is this one, and it's called the Science card. So there it is. It's a 6 of Wands. Wands is referring to the mind and thoughts and the element of air. And these 6 wands, if you look at them, you can see that the wands are equal size and shape and weight, and there are 60 degrees between each wand, and that is called the Science card. There's a load more I can share with you about that, but basically it's all about the balanced mind. So we are experiencing the underlying energy at the moment. Worldwide, you are experiencing too, if you're watching on this day, of the balanced mind. So it's a very great gift. It's the underlying energy, and that certainly was what we were all experiencing last night in the party mode. And the kind of food that comes through is absolutely extraordinary. For example, cashew nuts which have been roasted in honey and herbs, pistachio nuts, fried cheese, which is like a kind of white mass which people poke their fingers into and extract, fried Dutch cheese with herbs, beef, perhaps unsurprisingly considering where we are. So beef prepared in the traditional contemporary way, which is with garlic, ginger and Celtic sea salt. A particularly fine dish, fried in either coconut oil or ghee. Anchovies, deep fried anchovies, that's really something quite special. And various sweet treats turned up at different times, all very delightful, and it's just such a lovely atmosphere. And the thing about all the people is that no matter how introverted or extroverted they are, their energy is a really significant contribution, which is lovely. So that's about the party. So I'm just sitting here enjoying being with Gopal at the moment, and I'm making this film before things really kick off, because this afternoon I'm going to go and meet a guy in the aviation industry, and he's going to be sharing with us about all sorts of things. He is a renowned storyteller, so who knows what's going to come out of this guy's mouth. We're going to meet him. We're going to go to lunch for the very special place which I didn't get to eat at, but I went there when I was on my second visit, at the end of the second visit. The reason why I wasn't able to eat there last time, I was doing my 24-hour fast. But this time I'm not doing a 24-hour fast. I'm really looking forward to the extraordinary cuisine that's going to be offered there. And it's very likely that we're going to go, after all that, we're going to look at Site 59, the latest of the houses that Harman's been building together with his team. And after that, we're going to be most likely going to an event which is hosted and curated by Vic himself. So Vic himself, he's the living embodiment of the Magus. He's a magician, that's his nature. So there's going to be all sorts of things going on there. We're going to turn up late in the afternoon. It will start it's already been going on. It started at 11 o'clock this morning. It'll probably go on until 11 o'clock this evening. And most of it's locally, so we don't have to spend 2 hours in traffic to get to the location. That's going to be a real treat for us all. So that's what I'm looking forward to this afternoon. And the main thing in the meantime is to keep drinking the water from the River Corvery, which is passed through Ahmed's reverse osmosis filtration system. So I'm going to limit my presentation to that, and thank you very much for being with me. Always look forward to your comments. Always look forward to hearing how you are, what's going on for you, what paths you've been to lately, what's been happening. Okay, thank you very much.